Welcome to the Mary Grant Committee meeting for Monday, February 3rd, 2025. I do have a fairly light agenda. Pretty much we want to talk about what we have coming up this year, maybe set some dates. And another idea, you'll see it down there in Roman numeral number 3. Someone brought a thought to me which we'll bring up towards the end of the meeting and we'll discuss it. We do not have to make a decision on that tonight. Just food for thought, so be kicking it around in your head. So old business, let's talk about the pumpkin party. It was fairly well attended. I've seen more people in the past, but I think we managed 75 to 80 kids and pumpkins gone. There were a few pumpkins left over, which is normal, and they tend to go pretty quickly once we advertise that there's free pumpkins there.
I came back next day and they were all gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thoughts on the pumpkin carving party? Anything we want to change about it? Do we want to keep it the same? Just let it run its course and let it do its own
The
thing?
year before, we had the fire department there, didn't we?
No, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Last year, we ended up, because of all of the weather delays, it
'Cause of
got
all the
moved
rain.
around a lot of
See,
times.
my concept of time.
So I will tell you that every time we have something going on there, I do reach out to the fire chief and I say, we have something going on. If the duty crew can stop by, great. If we have food, we'll feed them. Because it's great outreach for them as well, because most of our events have kids there.
Yes.
But I agree that make an offer.
Absolutely.
But not depend on it.
Right.
So in case there's an emergency too, you know?
So looking forward to the next pumpkin party, I'd still like to plan, and we have a lot of time to figure this out, but I'd still like to plan on about 100 pumpkins. I think that's our goal every year now, is 100. Sometimes we wind up with a little bit less, sometimes we wind up with a little bit more, but we always seem to magically have enough pumpkins, which is the big deal, so.
I'll take care of Hannah.
Okay,
Hopefully they'll, I'll go in and ask them if you.
Okay.
Last year's.
we have time, absolutely, so.
Yeah.
All right, any other old business that I don't have on our agenda that someone wants to discuss?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I was just thinking about the outhouse. It was my first outhouse
Mhm.
cleaning month in October. I wondered if that worked out, that everybody takes a month and does it.
Tammy and I generally go up there once a week when it's our month and we
Oh,
try to tidy it up.
Yeah.
But once it starts getting colder and the critters are looking for warm spots, it gets
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
nasty, getting pretty quick.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah. I think that was a good way to do.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that again. I didn't put it on the agenda to set that schedule, but we can absolutely do that, or I'll just use the same months that everyone had last year.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Now, so when I went, I think I had November, October, November, I can't remember which. Does it get cleaned in the sense that the seat and the inside
I
and stuff?
think that's kind of why we stopped there. Sometimes it's very difficult to clean it, especially when
But what do you clean it
it's
with?
particularly nasty.
Yeah, what do you clean it with though? That's my.
I just
Like-
bring, I make my own spray, so when I go up, I bring my spray and some paper towels and I spray it and I wipe it down and.
Oh, but
Yeah.
you don't have any water you don't bring any water to just sort of.
So there is a spray bottle in there. It's not the best thing in the world, and it leaks a little bit. But you pump it up for pressure so you can spray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found plenty of
On the
cleaning.
spray bottle, I want to thank somebody that turned around and made an effort to put some kind of antifreeze in it. I went up, I was worried, and
Mhm.
I got there and it was cold.
Okay.
So I took it home and it was good. And when I got it home, I turned around and once I got it thawed out, whoever put the antifreeze in didn't run it through the tube
Okay.
in the
Yep.
in the handle. So when I got it thawed out, it was spraying
That's okay. I mean, we can,
It's split the brass tube.
yep,
And,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
where the trigger.
that's something that we can replace fairly
Yeah,
inexpensively, so.
I have another one anyway.
Okay,
And I just want, in case somebody wonders what happened to it, okay?
right,
Okay.
It was you know, a good idea of whoever
Right.
came up with it, for putting the antifreeze in it, because that wasn't frozen. But they didn't turn around and
Yep.
try and get the water out of the tube, and so when it got
Okay.
real cold, it cracked
All
two,
right.
3 places. So-
I'll have to
so-
remember that.
But
So-
I just bring that up so that if somebody wonders what happened to it and everything.
right.
I found that there were just some, smaller bottles of spraying, cleaning stuff up there when I went up. Of course, by November, they probably did freeze,
Yeah.
but I worry about antifreeze going into the outhouse, into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, we could use like RV antifreeze if we wanted to, which is more friendly.
More friendly, yeah.
It's not necessarily ethylene glycol like regular antifreeze.
Yeah, because this
so-
is supposed to be a nature preserve.
Yes,
The dead animals all over just.
Speaking of the outhouse, I do have a package of toilet paper in the back seat of my car
okay,
that I've been meaning to drop. I think that one of the last times I checked it, there was one too many rolls of toilet paper left. So I
Okay.
happened to pick up a package and,
A question, does it get pumped out or does it go into the?
in the 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, as long as Timmy and I have been on the committee, it has not been pumped, and it's not really a septic tank per se, it's more of a holding tank.
Okay, all right.
So every year I try to monitor it. I haven't felt the need to get it pumped yet. I'm not
Okay. I just didn't know
looking
how
too
it works.
closely to see what's down there and how full it is, but my intention is that once it gets, we'll say half full or so, I will have someone come pump it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Dan, do you know how deep it is?
It's not very deep.
50 feet? 40 feet?
No.
No?
Maybe 30 tops, but I don't even think it's that
Oh,
deep.
okay.
I don't think it freezes,
no,
but it's not a big tank,
Okay.
and it doesn't really get a lot of use anyway.
No, true,
So
true, true.
yeah. We've been very fortunate, we've never had to have it pumped.
Yeah.
No, true, like he said, it
And,
doesn't get
I know
much use.
myself, I was gonna get a long pole or something and see how much.
Who did
you're a
that
brave
hole?
man, Dick Neal.
Who dug that hole? I'm just curious. Do you remember who dug that hole? Who installed it?
Across the street. People who live across the street.
Okay.
He and Larissa Crockett's other half
Oh,
turned around and built
okay.
Okay.
built it, and they had the
Okay.
tank put in.
Yep.
Okay.
So like I said, I try to look at it at least once a year. Usually it's spring cleanup because we're thinking about it. And if it needs to be pumped out, I'll find someone to pump it out for us.
All right.
All right, any other old business to talk about?
No.
Okay, new business. So, town meeting refreshments. I've not been officially asked yet if we want to do the refreshments again this year.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be proactive. If that's something we want to do, it is a fundraiser for us. In years past, I think last year and maybe the year before, the town has actually paid for all of the food that we put on the table, other
Oh my
than what we
word.
make ourselves.
Ah,
Nice,
So it's almost
nice.
pure profit for us, if you will.
nice. I make cookies again.
I like cookies.
What kind?
Molasses.
It's very fortunate that the molasses cookies made it to the grant that day,
Oh, it
because
was
we
tough.
tried them and they almost didn't leave our house.
Okay, I'll make extra. Thank you though.
All right, so town meeting is on Saturday, April 12th. I will indicate to Jennifer our willingness to provide refreshments again. The rub this year, so every other year Virginia has been running the camera for recording the town meeting. This year, I think I'm going to have to monitor the sound system as well because we're going to do something different for microphones.
Oh,
So I may not be able to be behind the table, which means I'll have to lean on someone else to kind of take charge. Yeah.
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah,
So if the Board of Selectmen wants us to do refreshments again, and if they're willing to pay, even if they're not, I think we can meet again in probably March next month to try to figure out what we're going to do. It comes together pretty quickly. Obviously, coffee and muffins and donuts and things like that, and anything else we want to bring. So,
all right. Yep, sounds good to me.
okay. You have to say that a little bit louder.
I was just thinking out loud. That's all.
Okay,
What were you thinking?
Maybe, do some breakfast sandwiches
We could do that.
with snacks and things.
Yeah, I wouldn't do a ton of them, maybe 20 or so. I don't know.
I mean, they're easy enough to put together in bulk,
Yeah.
and I have means to keep them hot, so.
Mm-hmm. We can talk about that in March.
Okay.
the menu.
Yes.
It's an easy menu. So I'll indicate to Jennifer our willingness to do it again this year. Assuming no one else wants to do it, I think we're just a shoe-in for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Next main bullet point is setting a schedule for 2025. So we need to talk about a spring cleanup, the pumpkin party, and the community picnic, not necessarily in that order. So the first order is when we want to do our spring cleanup.
What's involved other than cleaning the pathways?
Cleaning the pathways, making sure there's no downed trees obstructing them, obviously.
Yeah,
We just like to clean up the front of the property, pick up the sticks and stuff, maybe get all the leaves off of the lawn areas, if you will.
Rake or blow.
Yeah, raking, you
Yep.
know, there's
Raking
a lot
is-
of, blowing and of the leaves and raking, picking up sticks that, along the path and, there was a lot of tree damage
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah. We were told that the forester was gonna go over and look at that tree that was,
The one that's like this?
yeah.
Hmm?
I don't know if that has happened or not.
So you did the walkthrough with Three Rivers, right?
yeah.
And I saw something noted out in the report, but it looks like it was taken care of. Is that accurate? Or did I read that wrong?
Oh, yeah, Madge also, Baker, went through first, and then she came to my house and said, you have to go through because it looks like somebody's been clearing more than they should.
Okay,
Oh.
And it wasn't, I think it just, those more trees fell down in that one area.
Right.
Because I went out again afterwards and looked all around where she was speaking about. And I think there were just a lot of trees that went down in that area and somebody had cut them. And this is a question that I haven't gotten answered from Three Rivers either, really. The trees should go down and just rot, that's how
right. It's a nature preserve first and foremost.
yeah, yeah. So, I don't think anybody was in there cutting firewood, and that was her worry,
No, I don't believe so.
no.
I
No,
know,
I mean, we just have that one widowmaker,
right.
if you will, that's hanging out that, you
Sure.
know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
would like it to,
Right,
somebody to take it down all the way.
I do know that when we do the cleanup, there's usually one gentleman who comes, he uses the property all the time. And he says, if I cut any down wood, can I just bring it home with me and burn it? Couple of wheelbarrows full of that.
Yeah.
And it's never anything that he,
Yeah,
it's never a live tree that
He
he
did
takes
not
down,
take
it's
it.
always something
Right.
that's already
It's stuff
set,
that's already
cleans
done,
up for
so.
us.
sure, yeah, yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I like to go through the barn, I like to at least get the floor swept in the barn.
All right,
I would really like to go everything in the back of the barn at some point, does not have to be during spring cleanup.
Yeah, pull everything
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
I'd like to see us schedule a day
Mhm.
where we go up and clean out some of that stuff that's
All of that
been
stuff.
there for years and years.
Yeah, I would like to do that on a warm day though.
Yeah,
Like maybe towards May or June.
yeah, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So the question in my mind is, when do we want to do the spring cleanup?
When is Earth Day?
That's what I'm beginning to look at here.
There's a, what is it, in April sometime?
Yeah.
It's a national,
I'm thinking it's probably gonna be, I think Earth Day is usually like the 22nd or
Yeah.
the 20th or
How
something.
was that the first one? April 22nd.
Um, So the Sunday or weekend before is Easter weekend, so I can't do anything that weekend. But we can try to schedule it for maybe Saturday, the 26th of April.
I think, will that be the last? I'm trying to see where it coincides with school vacation.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's actually the week after.
School vacation. I think school vacation begins the 20th. I have a calendar, school calendar.
Oh, you do? I don't
great.
have a school calendar. I don't have anyone in school.
I don't, but my grandchildren sometimes need to be picked up or, I have to be aware anyway.
I can send it to you, well, here. I can send it to you.
Well, it's usually school vacation used to be, oh my goodness. Wow, Virginia.
That's the school, that's the calendar.
Oh, that's up. No, maybe.
This.
Doesn't-
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good job, Tammy.
I didn't do it. Ginny did it. April 21st.
So that would be the Saturday after
25th.
school vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just includes Patriots Day, right? Monday. That's the only way I know what's vacation.
I believe Patriots Day will probably be on the 21st.
That's okay.
I'm not sure, the 21st or 14th this year.
Just restart it. There.
Okay. Yeah, it won't,
There we
won't
go.
blow up. Okay.
So let's tentatively set it for 4/26.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we can discuss it again, either via email, as long as you don't make an official decision, or when we meet again in March to set the schedule in ink instead of pencil. And I'll advertise that. I know we get some community involvement when we advertise it.
Yeah, it's a good thing for the scouts.
Right. Community picnic. When do we think we want to do the community picnic?
Was it August last year that we did it?
Wait, I'll tell you.
I think it was.
Mary Grant picnic was July 13th.
Oh, July.
There you go.
Oh wait, it might have been moved to July 27th. Guys, I have it in the calendar twice in July, and I know we only did it once.
Okay, Patriots Day.
I have it on July 27th.
Yep.
In notes from our
Okay,
I went
meetings
in,
last year.
I went in and it's the meeting
excellent.
about the picnic.
So, do we want to stick for like the last Saturday in July still? That seems to
Yeah,
be
that
our
was
go-to
good.
for that.
So
Dick, don't
what's
get
that
ahead of
date?
us now. He's reading the second page.
Oh,
sorry.
When's the last Saturday?
That is Saturday, July 26th.
okay, July 26th.
With that wonderful music again?
Well, it's funny that you should say that. We were talking about it on the way over here tonight. And one of those band members does a bluegrass.
Oh,
So I was thinking maybe we could change it up a little bit and ask Steve to come and do his bluegrass stint instead of the Southern Rock.
sure.
A little different?
Yeah.
Wasn't that time when they had the Renaissance Fair going
Oh,
on
at
the
the
same
same
time?
time.
The same
Yeah.
time? That's why we
Oh.
didn't have,
It's just,
There were 2 or 3 things going on at the
Yeah.
same time.
There was the
and
Ren
car
Fair, there was
show.
us, and there was, I think,
Something in
something in
Chaplin.
Chaplin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good point,
Just,
Virginia.
yeah.
miss the Ren Fair. Queen
Good,
Elizabeth
good
comes in
remembering.
Surprise.
and dress.
Is there actually someone dressed up as Queen
Oh,
Elizabeth?
goodness, yes.
Does she look like her?
I don't really know, I've never met the woman. That first Queen Elizabeth, she certainly is imperious.
Absolutely.
I'm just waiting on their page load to see if they have the schedule for this year.
Oh, that'd be
No,
good.
that's what I'm doing. Starts on Saturday, July 19th.
Yep,
Always hot.
it's 3 weekends, the weekend of the
Great.
19th, the weekend of the 26th, and August 2nd.
They're doing 3 weekends now?
Looks that way.
Wow.
Maybe I'll actually get to see everything.
Hmm.
The Vikings, you
Huh,
can't
so
miss.
one of the weekends is gonna be July 26th, obviously.
Yeah,
Well,
so we don't wanna do that.
No. How about the beginning of August?
Well, they're going to the beginning of August.
Oh, gee.
So we're
Yeah.
looking at either August 9th or July 12th to not
Ju-
have a conflict with the Renaissance
July
Fair.
12th then. July
Anybody
12th.
else have
Do
an
you wanna do
opinion?
it earlier?
my only thought is that with 3 Renaissance Fair dates going on, not everybody that wants to come to see us is gonna be, I mean, you know, if you, we're only on there once.
Right,
And they've got 3 tries, so I figured that, you know.
Well, the problem is the traffic. Do you remember?
Oh,
Nobody can
yes,
get
yes.
through 109 because the
Nobody could get
traffic was
through.
all
Yeah.
backed up.
That's right, that's right.
Good point, I
So
forgot that.
anybody coming up,
It was horrific. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
All
terrible.
right, so July what?
well, July 12th is on the table. Anyone
Yes,
else have
July
anything?
12th.
Any other ideas, thoughts?
Oh, let's
No,
just do it.
July 12th.
I like how you think.
Yeah. It will take all of our memories at once.
All right, and that brings us to our pumpkin party. So I anticipate that the school will do their trunk or treat on the 25th.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do the 18th, which is the Saturday before. So maybe the 11th or Sunday the 19th.
The 11th is fine.
And that will give us at least another option. We'll have the 25th
Mm-hmm.
in case of weather.
Yes.
Any other thoughts?
No, is it October 11, what's the next one, the 19th, you said?
Either the 11th or Sunday the 19th.
All right,
I put that down.
I think if we do the 11th, that'll give us, that's a Saturday. And that will give us more options for weather,
just in case.
yeah.
Yes.
Because, you know, the way it's going right now, we could have a monsoon, we could have a blizzard.
Right.
I know.
No, please don't put it on.
April 4th, we had that bad snowstorm, remember that?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I
That
was
was the worst
landlocked.
ever.
I was landlocked for a week because there were so many
There's
trees
a tree
down.
that fell in my
Yeah.
car.
Ah,
Yep.
All right.
that's good.
I think that's plenty of quote-unquote events for us.
Yes.
I was mentioning to Tammy on the way over here, we don't have to do events. The idea of the events is to get people to the preserve to check it out. And I think if we do more than 3 events, maybe 4 tops, then we're doing too much.
I think you're right, because
Well,
obviously
that's
all of
one,
us are
yeah.
involved in other things as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I know this is kind of off, since you've always had a community picnic where
Not
everything's
always.
been for free,
Mm-hmm.
but would it be cool to have like food trucks come at some point?
We've talked a little bit about a food truck, weekend, day, whatever.
Yeah,
I think that having the neck of the woods right in Chapley doesn't help our cause for that.
Mm.
And
oh,
then,
is that where the collection of food trucks?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
And
good for them.
Yeah, no, I'm glad for them.
I also think it's a hindrance because we're on a town-owned property that they have to have liability insurance and all of that. And some of the smaller companies or smaller food trucks may not be able to satisfy
What
the town's requirements for insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
got you. Okay. Just
I'm
asking.
happy to check with Jennifer and figure out
No,
what the
no,
requirements
I
are.
just thought that, you know, because I know how popular they are
Right.
and how people enjoy
Oh,
them.
just
that,
back to
Thank you.
Ginny, thanks. I'm looking at it, I'm going, why do I have another phone?
So I like the food truck idea. I don't think it would work for us.
No,
Okay.
it's a little,
Yes. It would be different like if we tried to do it up here in the parking lot or something, but
Yeah.
even now, with the construction trailers there, we're very limited on space.
How long are they supposed to be there?
I believe they're gonna be there at least for the year.
Okay,
He'll
All
go
right.
fast.
that'll be fun.
Next topic, Jimmy D's Pets in the Park.
I like that idea.
So, somebody approached Hope Dennekamp, who approached Tammy and I,
And Rob Dobson.
and Rob Dobson, about doing some kind of event to keep Jim Driscoll's memory alive in town. And their idea was a Pets in the Park, where you can come with your well-behaved dog, pet, whatever, on a leash, pay a $5 thing, have fun in the park with your pet, clean up after your pet, clean up after your pet, clean up after your
Yeah,
pet.
I don't think so.
And then maybe hang around afterwards, maybe we can have snacks or do simple burgers and hot dogs or
Yeah.
something like that.
I could go.
One of the other things I thought that tie into that, so we've been approached once or twice by Grammy Rose as well, about them using our trails. Maybe we can work with them to showcase some of the adoptable animals they have and have them bring them over.
Love it. I think that's a great
Um,
idea.
I
Jim
know
would like that too.
the folks that want to run want to have the Pets in the Park deal still have some logistics to work out. Because there's concerns about safety that someone brought up, I don't know who. So they have to work it out, but I wanted to bring it to our committee so we could be thinking about it. So that if and when it comes up again, we can say, yes, we're all on board, we're on board, but, or no, we're not on board.
I would like to have a little bit more information of what they're
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
planning. Or,
Yes.
you know, some sort of a written,
They were
Details.
hopeful to have it ready for our first meeting of the year, but it didn't happen, so.
so as long as that, you know, we can see what they're planning to do.
Right, I mean, I'm happy to let them use the property. I'm happy to be there, I love animals.
Me too.
But there has to be some kind of controls in place. What do we do if, right? If there's a lot of dogs there, I can't speak for
Exactly.
Johnny Smith's dog up the road,
Right,
who's great at
right.
home on the leash, but as soon as you put him in front of a kid, he's aggressive,
yeah.
or anything like
That's
that.
mine.
And that might be what their safety
Right.
concerns are, right?
I wouldn't bring my dog there, first of all, because he doesn't get along, she does
Yeah.
not get along with other
So
dogs.
I love the idea, I'm kinda with you, I wanna hear their full plan
Yeah,
before we put our nod or our stamp on it that we're okay with it or not okay with it. And I believe that we have the ultimate authority for the property, regardless of what the
Yeah.
town says, because
Yeah.
we are the committee, we advise the town into what we think, and for all intents and purposes, the board should go along with what we say happens or does not happen on that property.
Personally, I think it's too small a place to have a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of animals.
Right,
Yeah, not like what they do up in Portland
yeah,
or Portsmouth. They do their big,
the pet parade,
yeah, something like that.
Could do that at the school, couldn't they?
probably.
Yeah. Where there
Um,
are lots of bathrooms.
hmm One of the other ideas I had tying in Grammy Rose, right, is,
Bring their dogs and let people walk them.
yeah, absolutely.
They all get along.
So, I mean, there's
yeah.
all kinds of variations that can go with this. That's why I want us thinking about it before we invite the people that are really thinking about it to come and present it to us.
Now,
So we can be
Okay,
prepared with
sorry.
questions. Go ahead.
now, is there a time that if you want to bring it, let's say a young couple wants to bring their little kids and walk the grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Is there gonna be from
I'm
9 o'clock to 12, you can bring your dogs and walk the area?
I'm assuming that they will work all of that out in their details when they get ready. We don't know how much involvement we're all
Okay,
gonna
I'm just,
have.
you know,
or what-
inquiring, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know, we don't have any of the details,
All
the
right,
fine,
yeah.
the fine details yet. So,
Could they do this at Grammy Rose? They have a lot more trails than we do.
True, true,
And if they wanna showcase their dogs.
Right.
yeah.
So I think part of the idea, the main objective is to keep Jim's legacy alive
I
in town.
can,
And
behind that.
I'm on board with that, whether it's our property or not.
Right, right.
Secondary to that, I believe it was to raise funds for Neighbors Helping Neighbors, which Jim was very instrumental in creating. And then the rest of the donations would be split 50-50 with the Mary Grant property. And I think that's just because it was gonna be at the property. I don't know that Jim had any ties into the Mary Grant property.
Right.
Oh, so what, would you sell tickets or something, or?
Sell
Well-
tickets or make a donation to come walk your
Oh,
dog
okay.
in the park or.
Yeah,
And that's, in my opinion, that's something that they need to come up with and present that plan to us.
Mm.
this was just their initial
Right.
thought process on
Yeah.
the idea that was brought to them.
So if you guys want, we're gonna have a meeting in March anyway, which we should probably figure out today and get it on the calendar so we don't have to spend a month trying to get a calendar date. I can invite the people that want to put this together to our meeting. And now that we're thinking about it, we can be prepared with questions and, you know, how-tos and what-ifs and all of that. What do you guys thought? We're not making a decision tonight.
No,
What do you guys?
I like the idea that by bringing it up come March and we have another meeting.
Right.
yeah.
It isn't, you know, so.
Yeah, it gives us time to digest it. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
I love the idea, but I'm kind of with Marcia. I think the property's kind of small to do that, especially if you're talking,
Parking.
for the sake of argument, 100
that's
people bring
another
their
thing,
dogs
too.
in, right?
Yeah.
There's not that many trails there,
No.
Yeah,
right?
But there is a part where, if we're doing something in conjunction with Grammy Rose, there is a part where our paths cross an opening to the path to Grammy Rose.
I
Yes.
didn't know that.
And I would almost insist, and this is something I would bring up to
Uh-huh.
them, you know, let's tie in Grammy Rose, right? Whether we walk on their paths up to the houses and see the adoptable pets, or we invite them to have their volunteers come down with pets and walk and show off the pets. Maybe we can adopt some pets at the same time.
Where do they
That's kind of
walk
a
their
cool
pets, Grammy Rose?
They have a whole bunch of trails on their property which abuts the back of our property.
How many
Yes.
acres do they have? I'm
I don't
curious.
know off the top of my head.
I can't
I think
remember,
quite a-
but it's
quite a lot.
quite a lot.
Really? So
Yeah,
it
there's
would be
different ones. There's ones that are
beneficial
shorter and ones that are longer and, you know,
Right.
Okay,
more,
yeah.
more
Did
exercise.
anybody ever tie in their trails to us?
Not yet, not officially.
Part of the
You know,
worry
just so
was,
everybody knows, down in that left corner of the wall,
Yeah, where
there's an opening.
the stone
there.
wall is, yeah, that's it.
Before Grammy Rose came years ago, I wanted to turn around and extend our trails out through that corner and then out towards the Goose Pond Road there. But never,
Right.
Now, would this be forever sealed?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
You got what we got.
Yeah.
Write all those questions down though. Make
absolutely.
sure-
My take, and I don't know for certain, is that they want to try it for a year and see what happens.
Oh, okay.
And if it goes great, great. If not, we can find another way to keep Jim's legacy
Okay.
alive in town.
So it says in here that,
So we can try it on a yearly basis. I would, you know,
yeah,
let's try it this year. If it works out, let's try it for another year. Let's
Right.
try it for
And,
another
I mean,
year after that.
The other thought process is, okay, so we're not going to use or they're not going to use the Mary Grant. We can still be involved,
yeah,
Yeah.
right?
you could do refreshments or something.
That'd be
Right.
good, because Jim was very, very dedicated to the,
Yes.
I mean, he was very dedicated. Very dedicated.
so in here they said they wanted to, perhaps on the Saturday closest to April 12th, Jim's birthday. So the problem with that, as I'm looking at this calendar,
It's a
is
town meeting.
town meeting is
Yeah.
April 12th.
Yeah.
Oh, but the
So-
closest, so it could be before that, could be.
So it could be before, it could be after.
I don't think the property would be ready for that if we did it on the
Yeah.
property anyway.
No, it's gonna depend on how much snow we
Yeah.
get.
And if
Between
it's
now and
wet,
then.
yes,
Yeah,
not at all, because that would really damage the trails
Right.
to have a whole bunch of people.
Well, you
At
can keep
once.
thinking that.
So be thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I wanted to talk about today is just figuring out when we're gonna meet in March.
What?
March.
When we're gonna meet in March.
Oh,
So we can nail down the town meeting plans if we're gonna do the refreshments. And then perhaps we can have these folks come in and talk to us about the pets in the park thing. I really like meeting on Saturdays. Does that work for you guys?
Yes.
Because my work schedule gets hectic sometimes, and I honestly don't know if I'm gonna be home any day now for the next year.
Oh, geez. Sure, what time on a Saturday? I mean,
I'm open.
all right, I mean, me too.
Right, the only rub is, if we're gonna use the town hall, we need to book it now so that other people don't try to book a private party. Right?
Okay.
I tried to book it for either next Saturday or last Saturday, and
Yeah,
was told we couldn't do it because someone was doing a baby shower in here.
yeah, Saturdays must be popular
Yeah.
for everybody.
And that's when I said, hey, we can meet at Mary Grant if you wanna be cold.
Yeah.
No. Well, yeah,
I don't.
no,
Wonderful.
no,
So I'm thinking kinda off the top of my head, town meeting's the 12th. Do we wanna plan on the 22nd of March?
it's 22nd as far as I know.
Gives us a little bit of time
Okay.
to think about what we wanna think about and come up with a plan for what we wanna do for town meeting.
Okay.
March, what is it, March?
March 22nd.
22.
Saturday.
And that gives us a few weeks to get everything we need for, town meeting.
Now, going back to this, it's just an annual thing? An annual event?
No, it's just a one-time for now. It's just a
Oh, yeah,
one-time.
okay, that's more,
Right.
I had to read it again,
Yeah, for now it's a
I
one-time,
thought
but
it
if
was
it
like every
works,
month or every,
then they may wanna do it annually.
Yeah, that, I don't see it.
Bless you.
Yeah, bless you.
thank you.
Yeah.
I bet Grammy Rose would
I
be
bet
happy
you,
to have that be more than just 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge advocate for dogs especially, but all animals, and I'm happy to include them if we can work that in.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's a great
that's-
idea.
I think we should have it there.
could you put it on?
No.
Yeah.
Really? And all their trails?
Cause
And
I
their
have a
dogs could come
feeling,
and go?
the problem with
And they-
this is that Jim was well known.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how many people would
That's
come with their
exactly right.
dogs?
I'm meeting
I-
a next door neighbor, I gotta say.
Right,
I would
mean,
almost have
I
to think
agree.
that if this happens, it would have to be more than just 3 or 4 hours. And we might almost have to book time slots.
Yeah, because, because a lot of,
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine all that.
I'm not coordinating that.
Anyway,
And I'm
It's
in
their
capable
event.
of
Well, let's
coordinating.
see what they come up with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Plans.
so back
But I
to our
think
March
it's a good
meeting.
idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Back to our March meeting, March 22nd, what time?
Do you wanna meet at 9?
Could,
Sure.
how about a plaque in his name, maybe?
We could do that.
And put it on the barn. You can, and put it on the barn, or on
Yeah,
the,
if
in
we're gonna
memory
do
of-
it, and it's gonna be at the property, absolutely, I could see doing
Okay,
that, without a
yeah.
doubt. Okay. So 9 o'clock on March 22nd,
Yep,
or 10 o'clock?
9 o'clock's fine.
Nine's
I
fine
think
with me.
9 is great.
I have ulterior motives at 10 o'clock,
10 o'clock is.
but I'm okay with 9 if you wanna do it.
No, or 9:30.
I can do either one, I don't know what your ulterior
10
motives
o'clock
are
is,
about.
because it's a Saturday, unless it's,
Geez, I get up at 5, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Is it?
I said
I'll be
9,
ready for lunch.
but Dan would like to go to 10.
10, I'm with Dan.
Okay, well, why don't
10 a.m.,
10 a.m. it
March
is.
22nd.
All right, I'll change it again.
You put it in the calendar already?
Yes,
Okay.
if I don't put it in the calendar, it's not happening.
Right?
I put it in
have
two
one too.
calendars because I forget.
We share a
We share
calendar.
accounts, so I have my Google Calendar that I share with her and our daughter.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
And then I also have a calendar I manage for church
Oh,
and
dear.
the public access television. So all that combines into my Google Calendar.
oh, no, I couldn't know.
Wow.
So I only have to look one place and I can see what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I don't have it here, it's not happening.
Okay.
Doesn't exist.
Nope.
All right. It's not on the agenda, but you've probably noticed, Marcia, I actually plowed the property yesterday.
I know somebody did.
Yeah, I did it.
Okay.
Now that I have a plow truck again, I try to get up there after a decent storm to plow so that people can still use the property
Uh-huh.
and not have to park in the middle of the road.
Mm.
All right, anything else for the committee?
No,
Yeah,
not
I
that
got
I can
a
think
couple.
of.
Oh, I know you do.
Go ahead.
One of the things, I'd like to see us, see if we can get some,
Sorry about the blowing business at cleanup time, is that exposing the roots. The
Right,
roots-
so during cleanup, I don't go into the woods when I'm blowing the leaves, but I blow the leaves into the woods.
Excellent, excellent.
So that it breaks down and adds
Yeah,
to
I
I'm
like
sorry, I meant to say that last year what they did, they, off the grassy areas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah.
not the paths. were-
okay,
were blown.
good, that's good.
No, there was only one here that we went in to that area that was this side
right
of
next
the
to the
outhouse.
outhouse.
So that we could clean up all of the mess that was in there, all the
Yeah.
overgrowth and all of it to give the good stuff a chance to grow
Sure,
and do its thing.
yeah.
We haven't touched it since then, really, other than to clean up broken twigs and, you know.
But as a follow-up to that, okay, when we clean that out, there's like a hole, and then there's a big rock and everything. And so what I had in mind, what I'd like to see is fill in that hole, maybe roll that rock into the hole and put some stuff over there so that it's, you know, because the kids do, like even when we do the pumpkin carving, okay, the tables are out, but the kids are running around out back and whatnot. And then closer to the road, between there and the stone wall, personally, I like to keep it trimmed down, you know, keep the bushes out to turn around and provide a couple of extra parking spaces in there. You know, if we have an event or whatnot, especially for older people.
So
instead of having to park down the street a ways, you don't have to
I'm
walk
all
up.
for cleaning up the driveway area to protect the roots of the trees. My personal opinion is that we don't fill that area, because now we're starting to take away from the natural part of the nature preserve.
Well, the natural portion is mainly down along the trails and whatnot.
The natural portion is the entire piece of property.
Well, yeah, but.
And
it's-
honestly, Three Rivers may yell at us if we try to fill that area in. I mean, we can ask
I'll
Three
try-
Rivers,
I'll try not
we can ask Three Rivers if they
nature
would allow
preserve,
us,
first
and
of
then
all.
we can
That's-
Yeah,
readdress it.
we're not talking about, you know, major things, it's just a couple of spots there, one that can put some, soil over those,
Exposed
Yep.
roots.
and then, there's a couple of little small spots there that,
Mhm.
but,
I mean,
my
you have to
thought
look,
was you get some, ditching material, one of the, road commissioners, when they're cleaning the sides of the road, they can drop off a couple of yards of ditching material and stick it over in the corner there. Cause I think, I've spoken to,
Joe?
Joe Ruma, he's got a
Mhm.
little Kubota tractor with a bucket on it and everything. And I think I could talk him into coming across the street, and, you know, just spreading it out for us.
I think if we're gonna cover the roots, we need to be careful what we put there. Again, I'm for that, Because I know what it's like riding in there, especially in my truck where the truck's doing this. So we just need to be careful what kind of material we put down.
Yes.
We do. I know I got, I got a lot of garden soil theoretically from Joe, and you have to be careful what you put down there, it's true. And the other thing I'm wondering about, is where it comes from, you know, what's in it, I guess is what I'm saying, what's in it. Topsoil could mean
Oh, yeah.
different things to
Yeah.
different
Well,
people.
as I say, we don't need, you know, the top loam type of stuff and whatnot.
Mm.
But I don't know, we've had good luck before.
Maybe we should just go
with-
walk
with
on it
some
and
of the
see what
ditching material.
it looks like.
Can't do that till the snow's gone.
Oh, that's true. And we're getting more this week.
So what I can do to that end is I can talk to our select board, I can start with Ed.
Mhm.
I can talk to Dave Winchell, who's in construction, so between the two of them, I think, and us, we can come up with a plan to take care of the entrance, to make it a little bit smoother.
Yeah, yeah. Do we have a forester, town forester?
We
We do have a town forester, and I
Steve.
actually ran into him Saturday night and had a nice conversation with him.
Ah.
Oh, it's Steve Boston.
Oh, I know, I know Bodkins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Steve Bodkin.
Yeah,
And I actually told him that as the Mary Grant chair, that I wanted to pick his brain and maybe walk the property with him.
oh,
And I know the Conservation and Forestry Committee also has brought up the Mary Grant a few times. Kelly's on that committee as well.
I would be like to tag along and listen.
So it's not a stretch. We just have to coordinate it all. Maybe we can make it happen during our cleanup. Maybe if Steve's available that day,
Yeah,
we can just meet like an hour before we're ready to do our cleanup and just walk the trails with him
that'd be fine.
and get his thoughts. We can get input from Three Rivers person, as well as input from the committee. So I would probably bow down more to what Steve says as the forester,
Yeah,
as long as we can maintain a natural environment. If we take a tree down, it's probably gonna stay there. I have no desire to try to pull a tree out of there.
no.
No, that'll tear it right up.
Yeah. All right.
Just to pass on to the rest of the committee that may not know. Three Rivers, with the conservation easement that they have on the property, are required every year to walk the property
Mhm.
and make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, you know? Because some places in the past, somebody, it's supposed to be a conservation easement, then they make their little inspection tour, find out that the landowner has turned around and either done some
Clear cut it,
excavation that they shouldn't have,
Yeah.
or put up a building that they shouldn't have, or whatnot, so. So it's just kind of a routine thing.
Right.
But
And they actually create a report that goes up to Three Rivers, and I believe it goes to Jennifer as well, but I'm not certain.
Yeah, and we have we've got, what is he called now?
what's that?
We've just hired a fellow at Three Rivers that his whole job is to keep track of every single one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And he, a lot of big forestry background, and a young guy who's a crackerjack at computer kinds of things and all that kind of business. And I built bat houses with him last week down at the high school with a group of kids, and he's just on top of everything and keeping us doing what we should do,
Right.
informing us,
Yeah.
because, you know,
I mean, whatever we do, I want to keep it inside the parameters of the conservation easement. And I want to keep it as natural as possible. It is a nature preserve first and foremost. So obviously, we're not going to pave the grass. We're not going to put up a new community center. We're not going to, I don't know, you name it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As long as we stay within the rules of the conservation easement, I'm open to anything.
When you plowed there, how's our sign doing?
It's
Is it
still standing.
standing?
It's still standing.
Okay, that's good.
Did Linda ever give us back the other sign that she was redoing?
I don't think so. It's probably still in her basement.
Okay, well, I don't remember how ask.
Right next to all the pumpkin carving tools.
One other thing that, I hate to bring it up, but needless to say, I am disappointed that we didn't get the picnic tables put away this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's, historically, it's been a past practice that we put the picnic tables inside. Because one of the things that I observed, give you an example, up to the library, I donated a picnic table for their outside reading.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, I kept saying that, you know, wintertime, they needed to either cover it or put it away for the winter. And, but they don't last forever,
No.
and they're getting very expensive. And so as I say, I have a personal thing there, because I donated those new plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Is there room in the barn to store?
There is.
Oh, yeah, you know, we've done it every year. It was just an oversight this year, and
Yeah, it just
understand
totally got
that,
away
but
from me.
Okay,
I'm not concerned about weathering of the plastic tables at all. I'm concerned they're gonna walk away. And that is why I started putting them in the barn when I took over on the committee.
you know,
There's
Oh,
one wooden table up there under a tree that I generally leave out because it's heavy, it's hard to move. That's a table that I donated, and then the two half tables we have up there, I rebuilt a couple of years ago, and I will do it again if they go south again.
And I put Thompson's on them.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's just
excellent.
because they sit there,
Yeah,
if they're not in the barn, they sit there all summer long in the weather, so.
right.
should
But
we
we
get
can,
cameras? No? No, okay,
you put cameras up there now, you need power on all the time too.
yeah, that's true, I'm just, you know,
Yeah.
we concerned.
I'm not super concerned they're gonna walk away.
Okay.
It's just, it's always in the back of my mind.
you know.
But you hear so much of that today.
I know.
But generally speaking, usually the weekend after the pumpkin party is when I go up there with Tammy and my daughter and her boyfriend, and we put the tables away.
Yeah,
Okay.
This year I was traveling, so it wasn't in my mind anymore, so, and I apologize.
you're forgiven.
Oh. All right,
But
anything else?
I just was wondering, I was just curious, because I never knew. Does the town give us any money toward keeping it up, like
no,
picnic tables?
No, so we're in budget season, and I got an email from Jennifer. I'd like to discuss the Mary Grant budget with you, and I said, I didn't know the Mary Grant had a budget.
Ah,
Yeah,
We've never had one.
no.
We don't.
no.
I think there might be like $500 deposited into our account every year, but it's not. It might cover electricity.
all right.
They,
Yeah.
All the other funds we have, we
It's
raise.
donated, yeah.
And because of that, we have a little bit more carte blanche, if you will, as to what we spend it on.
Right, we can
Yeah.
do what we want with that money
Yeah.
without going in front of the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
so
every-
every time you spend money that they give you, you have to get
Account
permission from the
for it,
board
yes.
first?
they, just so everybody knows, that when the Mary Grant, property was offered to the town, this is, by Three Rivers, and I was on the board of Three Rivers at the time. Mary Grant in her will, kind of put a caveat that she didn't want the property to ever be developed. And so, she, in her will, gave it to, it's a conservation group up along the coast,
Mhm.
up around Rockland or somewhere.
Mhm.
And it was far enough away, and it wasn't that big a piece of property that they weren't
Interesting.
overjoyed about accepting it.
Yeah,
And then somebody up there, you know, suggested, well, there's a Three Rivers Land Trust down in that area. So they contacted Three Rivers Land Trust. We discussed it on the board, and it wasn't, so I don't know whether it was myself or somebody turned around and suggested, well, maybe the town would accept it. So we thought, oh, that's a great idea, so we contacted the selectmen, and they thought it was a pretty good idea, but they said it'd have to be accepted at the town meeting. So the town meeting of 2004, it was presented, and more or less all hell broke loose. You had these people in the audience that turned around and said, oh, if we accept that, that's gonna be an expense to the town, and we don't need extra expenses. And so one of the other conservation-minded people in the audience turned around, raised their hand and said, well, if we can get a committee together and turn around and be responsible for it, and it will never be a cost burden to the town, would you consider accepting it? So after some other comments and whatnot, we went up for a vote, and
I could
It
just
passed.
picture it. Can't you just picture it?
so then in 2005,
Oh,
in
boy.
January of 2005, the Mary Grant Committee was established, and I ended up being the first chairman of the committee. And so it was our goal right from the start that it
To
would
raise
never be a
money.
burden to the
Yeah.
town.
Yeah,
And when we first started out, that first year, there was a house there. And,
on the property?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's
and,
Dr.
uh,
Grant's house.
Huh.
it was, Mary had let it go for so long
Yeah, yeah.
that the roof leaked and the walls, then the floors got all rotted
Yeah.
out. So we had to tear it down. But in cleaning the house out and what goodies were in the barn, we were able to turn around and end up with a net
Oh, profit.
amount. After all the bills were paid, we had, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000. And so we've turned around, and the Mary Grant Committee in the past has worked to
Mhm.
turn around and try to keep that as a backup.
Well, I think too that if we needed part of the 500, I mean, I would take it, but I wouldn't spend it unless it's something like fix an electrical thing on, you know what I mean? Or on the barn, or,
Right.
you know,
Well, we were really lucky.
because I think that kind of stuff would pass.
Yeah, the last time I
Question.
looked at the numbers, we had over $4,000 in our
Oh, good.
Mary Grant account with the town.
Wow, some other thing I was wondering.
And that covers our electricity, and then we use it for, you know, supplies and
Right,
whatever doesn't get donated.
Mhm.
And,
right, right.
I mean, we were lucky, we had the barn painted, it didn't cost us a dime.
I was thinking, I remembered it
Yeah.
had been donated.
Yeah,
Yep, they donated their time,
And the
they
paint.
donated the supplies,
Wow.
and the Historical Society gave us some money towards that as well, so,
Oh, good.
yeah, so it, you know, we've been fortunate that we were covered,
Yep,
Yeah.
and we don't have to beg the town for anything.
excellent.
It works out.
Oh, I got one other thing. On the front of the barn, got the bulletin board.
mm-hmm,
Those papers over the course of the year.
Yeah, they get all faded.
out and whatnot. And in the past, I've been able to turn around and make new copies and
mm-hmm.
get them all. You know. So I just bring that up, because I'm not gonna be here forever.
Do you have a folder full of the papers
I
that?
think I
Yeah.
have all the master copies at home on my computer.
Okay.
There's one that where I've lost the master, and it's the one where I hand drew a
Oh, the
picture of
paths?
the property,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't remember how I did it, my little stone wall all around. But I need to, I don't know if somebody got some ideas to make a new master copy.
Well, Dan thinks he has them all.
I may have it.
So, but every spring I would go up and
Yep.
make some new copies and put them on the bulletin board.
You also had a really good point that sometimes people put donations in the.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do look in
That's
it when I
something
go
else.
up.
Do you? Yeah.
We really need a new little logbook.
Okay.
But I don't know how many others have turned around and checked that logbook. But
I check it every time I go up.
I personally, I turn around and I just can't get over some of the comments in there. We
Mm-hmm.
have people from all over the country that come and walk those trails,
Wow.
and then they turn around and take the time to make a little comment
Yeah.
in there, how wonderful it is, and great.
Is the library going to just still do their,
Yep, that they
Sorry,
do,
what?
yes.
oh, yay, that's good, I like that.
All right,
Just one little quick thing.
yeah,
Since you did find money in there a couple times, is there a way we could write donations, where people could put donations if they wanted to? Or that would be,
Be like a neon sign saying,
I
put your
know.
money
Yeah,
here.
one of the bulletins on the bulletin board, turn around and inform people that if they'd like to make a donation,
yeah,
then he gives the instructions, about
Where to-
go to the town hall, and
yeah,
make
yeah.
the checks out to the Mary Grant.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think that we wanna have some kind of a drop box.
no,
No, but if somebody wants to donate,
Yeah,
that's out of
Well,
town,
as
that
I-
doesn't know to go, you know.
One time, I went and checked it, and all of a sudden it was $35
Wow.
in the logbook.
Yeah.
I ran down, deposited it with the treasurer. But we've been very, very fortunate. And as I say, that was back in 2005,
mm-hmm,
and this is 2025.
Yep.
So we've had Mary Grant for 20 years.
all right, anybody have anything else?
Nope.
I don't
Not
think
me.
so.
No? Anybody have a motion for me?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
And I would second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved, thank you, everybody.
Okay.